A very good morning, students. Students, I'm sure you all love stories. Today, I'm going to present you a beautiful story. As we all know, India is very well known for the stories of its bravery, sacrifice, loyalty, sincerity, dedication. We Indians are very well known for our sincerity and dedication, for our loyalty towards our king, towards the king who is ruling us, towards our country, towards our motherland. Today's story, The Great Sacrifice, is a very beautiful story. This story starts in Mewar, Rajasthan, where let's begin the story, because if I say it now, it'll be really like I'm ending up the surprise for you. Before we begin to know the story, let us know the characters of the story. Students, in this we have Panna, the nurse of the infant Uday Singh. Then we have Padma and Champa, the maids. Banbir, half brother of Uday Singh, was ruling Mewar for Uday Singh. So these are our, you can say, is the characters of a story. The story is revolving among these people only in the lesson. This is a beautiful city of Mewar. You can see how beautiful it is, right? Yes. The story begins in Mewar. This is the Mewar fort where the Prince Uday Singh is staying, where he was staying. Now, what happens is the king, Ranaji, he is dead. He was in the battlefield and he dies. Now, the queen, what she does is she gives her son Uday Singh to Panna, the nurse of infant Uday Singh. Infant is who? Infant is a small baby. Then, with time, Panna takes care of Uday Singh. You can see here the picture of Panna Dai and Uday Singh. Now, Panna Dai and Uday Singh, she takes care, and Panna Dai also has a son who's the same age of Uday Singh, and she takes care of him as her own son. Now, why is she taking care of him as her own son? The story begins like this. Panadai is very, you can say, very loyal and dedicated employee. Employee, you can say, like the maid, like of the queen. She was with the queen always. When the queen was giving birth to Uday Singh, that time she does not remain alive. She dies. And then she hands over the responsibility of Uday Singh to Pannadai. She tells her, "Promise me that you will take care of my son and you will take care of him and you will make sure that he becomes the king of Mewar." And Pannadai gives her promise. And it is very well known, in Rajasthan and in India, most probably in India, but then this story is revolving around Rajasthan. So I'm telling you, the people of Rajasthan, they say they will give their life, but they will not give away their promise. To keep their promise, they will even ready to give their life. Now, since this is for her, towards her loyalty, towards to show how dedicated she is, she what she does is she gives her she tells gives her a promise to the queen. She says, even if my life goes, I will take care of the king. So she takes the little infant Uday Singh with her and she starts taking care of him. He becomes a big boy now. He is not that very big. He is somewhere you can say is 10 years old. And Pannadai is also having a son who is just 10 years old or little lesser than that. Both of them are the same age. And both little bit have resemblance of the same. They look same alike. Now what happens here? Now, Uday Singh has his half brother, his you can say half brother as his cousin brother, Banbir. Now Banbir wants to kill Uday Singh because he wants to become the king of Mewar. And then this story begins like this. You can see her. Pannada is taking care of Uday Singh. She's making him sleep. And here are Padma and Champa who are taking who are helping out Pannadai to take care of the young prince Uday Singh. And then suddenly Padma rushes in and she asks for Pannadai. Where is the prince? Then Panna answers, there he is, and here's my son. Both of them have just fallen asleep. Then Padma speaks. She says, I'm worried. Panna says, yes, I too am worried. Everything has been gone wrong. And the reason is what? Ranaji's death. And no one was happy in the kingdom because of Banbir, because he was frightening everybody, threatening everybody. If you support Uday Singh, I will not leave you. So all was scared of Banbir. Then Padma said, and Banbir has become very ambitious. Do you think the nobles like him? Panna, they they have to like him. They are not strong enough to dislike him, she says. Panna says that like Banbir is forcing people to like him. Then here they start talking, like they are quite worried. Suddenly, Champa gets into the room. She says, Banbir is really very angry and he is roaming with an naked sword to kill the prince Uday Singh. These two ladies did not know what to do. They said, we have to save the prince. Suddenly something runs to the Pannadai's mind. And then she says to Padma, get me a basket with flowers and leaves. Then what she does is she puts the young prince in the basket and she covers him with nicely with the flowers and leaves. And she tells Padma, take the prince and move out from the window. And then she says, what are you up to? She tells, I will change the clothes of the prince with my son. She puts her son's clothes to the prince, that ordinary clothes of a normal public, and she puts her son the royal clothes. And then she makes him lie next to him, so that when Banbir comes, he'll get her son and he will not get the prince. And the same thing happens. Padma and Champa take the prince in hiding and they move out of the fort. They go to Panna, someone trustworthy person who is there who will take care of the prince. till he becomes big, where he can take care of his throne. Here, now what is happening is Banbir comes and he asks Panna, where is the prince? And she says, he is here, sleeping. Don't disturb. He just takes his sword and he cuts the head of the child. Panna does not know what to do and he goes off, Banbir. She takes the child and she hugs him tightly and she tells the queen, I have kept my word. I have saved the king. A mother sacrifices her son only to save the king, to save the kingdom. What a sacrifice! What a sacrifice! She gives her son to the to save the uh, kingdom. The story tells us what legacy we follow with dedication, with loyalty. This whole lesson is about Panna, her sacrifice, how she sacrificed her son only to be show her loyalty to her queen. And in meantime, in days past, Uday Singh takes the throne and he becomes the king. This was the beautiful story of the great sacrifice. Students, I hope you enjoyed the story. If you have any doubt or any clarification, please feel free to call me. Thank you and have a good day.